in legal departments today. If you want to be innovative, you need to move out of your comfort zones. You need to take responsibilities. You need to look at issues that you have not dealt with in the past. You need to move out of the comfort zones. To that extent, rotation opportunities within the legal departments really help. And not just for, this is a theme for the head of legal, as well as for other senior leaders. Not encourage the leaders to be in the same position for a long time, move them up a bit so that you get a set of fresh thinking and possibility of innovation coming into that area. The earlier speaker did mention about the changes that are happening on the contracting space and the contract management space. Coming from the technology industry, I can vouch for that. There's a huge amount of changes that are happening in that space. I think there is one discussion topic today in this seminar on the new technologies. I think the new technologies that the legal departments are implementing in the areas of productivity analysis, in the areas of contract management, analysis of various data-based decision-making process within legal department management. These are all evolving space, and as GCs, that is another area to really look out for. While the clients are asking for more lawyers, they are also asking for smart lawyering. So when I'm saying smart lawyering, it is a lawyering that is not just going back to the client and talking about the legal provisions, but being commercially savvy and giving a practical solution and giving a solution-oriented approach, benchmarking your legal departments against all your competition out there. And GCs will be challenged on that aspect as well. So these are the areas I think the new GCs will have to look out for, and once you have it, I think the future is bright for GCs here and all over the world.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. MK, I've saved him for the last. In my opinion, MK stands for an institution of GCs where, without getting too familiar with business and without thrusting an opinion on a business, he actually worked his entire way around to getting business people to have confidence in him. So if I spoke to 10 people in the lever setup, some of whom have joined the Birla group where I worked, they all say one thing, that we can confide in MK, we can ask him to give the best advice. And MK also stands for one more thing, the paradigm shift. People are always, they would actually advise and be content. Okay, I have advised you, please do what you want, be advised and content, but MK actually stands for devising and implementing. So a paradigm shift from advise and consent to devise and implement. And his journey has been quite long, from GC to vice chairman of HUL. May I, ladies and gentlemen, invite MK to address. MK, please.
Good morning, and Prasanna, thank you for the introduction. The first lesson I think that I would want to talk about at GC is the one which has been just imparted to us by Prasanna. By allocating only 6 minutes to each speaker, learn to be brief and to the point. So that's the first lesson for all my colleagues as GCs. Second lesson for GCs is, don't be hesitant to steal with pride. If you find a good practice, if you find a good idea, wherever you find it, unashamedly and unhesitatingly adopt it. And therefore, with all humility, I adopt and reiterate all my previous speakers have said about their learnings in their journey. They were all valid points, and rather than repeat them to this audience, I merely reiterate and adopt them as a good lawyer. Number 3, I think I would ask you to ask yourself a question in your organization. When I joined Levers way back in 1974, my first introduction to an external person was, he is the person who keeps us out of jail. You won't believe that. And I felt extremely offended, to be perfectly honest, with that introduction. It was a very negative introduction to say he's the guy who keeps us out of jail. And I thought to myself that I must work to change this image. And I felt truly privileged when, in my retirement speech, the chairman of the company said MK was a source of competitive advantage for the company. And I think that was my journey. And I personally think that if we can really become, as general counsels, a source of competitive advantage for the organization, I think we would have done our role. How do you go about it, I think, is the next question I will ask. Since I have said I will not repeat what my previous speakers have said, team building, mentoring, coaching, I am not going to talk about. I am going to talk about self-development, I think, which fortunately speakers left for me. Very often, general counsels suffer from thinking that they have learnt all that was there to learn. My advice would be, please set apart at least half a day every week, which you devote exclusively for your own self-development, updating your knowledge. We are like a medical profession. We need to constantly update ourselves. Laws are changing, interpretations are changing, judicial trends are changing, and unless we remain contemporary, we would become foggy daddy old lawyers, would not be relevant to the business. That's the first advice I would give to general counsels. The second advice I would give is, most lawyers, and I think particularly in India, the way we are trained and grow up, tend to really be precedent bound. I think we feel very uncomfortable with any proposition which doesn't really have a precedent. I have constantly pushed myself to saying, you must judge yourself how many propositions you went ahead and implemented on first principles when there were no valid precedents that you could cite. That's truly, to my mind, the test of a general counsel's ingenuity, innovativeness. And therefore, please don't hesitate. Apply your logic, apply your reasoning, read first principles, read the law, and if you find that what you are proposing to do makes sense, don't feel hesitant that there are no precedents. And you would never regret. That's the other lesson I would want to give you. Next lesson I would want to give you is, don't be overawed by senior professionals. Okay. I'll give you an example from my early career. I was a young trainee in DCM, and I think it might put some of you with a bit of surprise. This was way back in 1968. C.K. Daftari had just retired as the Attorney General of India, and I was working with DCM, and I was sent together with my boss to take an opinion from him on price controls in the Vanaspati industry under the Essential Commodities Act. Entire industry was bleeding. The issues were whether government had the powers under the Essential Commodities Act to do so, and the advice that was coming to the industry from the lions in the industry profession was, it was well within the competence of the government to control prices, and there was nothing that could be done. My good fortune, I was deputed, I had gone for the conference with lawyers and my